So while the beef is cooking, I'm going to get started on the lentil curry. I have about 1.5 cups of split red lentils, and I'm going to wash and drain this and then add about 2 cups of water per cup, 1 cup of lentils. And I'm going to add a couple spices and vegetables to this and show you what I do. So you want to wash the lentils until the water runs clear, and it should look like this. And I think the ratio would be actually 3 cups of water to 1 cup of lentils. Because this is a sort of like almost like a soupy lentil curry, so you would want to keep some liquid in there. And to this I'm adding in 1 tomato and 1 serrano pepper. You can add in a jalapeno to that. If you don't like it spicy, you can totally omit this, but we like our food spicy. So this, as well as some ginger and garlic paste and some turmeric. I added in the turmeric and the ginger and garlic paste, and this is what it looks like. And pretty much you just want to bring this to a boil and let the lentils soften. And after that, we're going to blend this with a hand blender, or you can just put it in the blender and then make a smooth soup out of it. And we add more spices towards the end, but the spices will be toasted or tempered, so it gives a nice smoky flavor to the lentils. But yeah, let me just tell you guys a bit more about Hyderabadi food. I think it's actually very different than like mainstream Indian food. It's not as heavily spiced, and it's actually very simple. So it'll only require like tomatoes, onions. I mean, like the base is always onions, ginger and garlic, turmeric, and mirchi or red chili powder, which reminds me I have to add some of that to this. And yeah, it's really simple. It doesn't use much of the garam masalas, I should say. Yeah, so I think most Hyderabadis would agree that they don't add garam masala to their everyday dishes, such as the khattidal, which is a staple, or their just talava gosht, or even like their tomato salads or tomato curries and things like that. It's just very simple. But we do add it to like the biryani and the horma and things like that, and when we're making a special dish. But this is definitely what we grew up eating, and I think it always like hits the spot and almost like comfort food for me. So hopefully this the dal turns out as good as the way my mom makes. I don't normally make khattidal very often, but whenever my mom is like out of town, I end up making a bunch and then just storing it in the fridge so we can have it on a daily basis. Also, an interesting fact that when you eat rice and lentils together, your body processes it as a complete protein. So I think Indians have been doing the whole lentils and rice thing. Like, they're really smart about that. And whoever eats lentils and rice, like, you guys have it down. So this is what the cooked lentils look like. It's kind of thick, so I'm gonna sort of water it down a bit because this is meant to be a liquidy curry or dal. So I think this consistency is about good. It will thicken up because we are going to cook it furthermore with other spices and as well as curry leaves. So I'm gonna add in about 1/4 cup of lemon juice. You can use fresh lemon juice or lime juice, but just adding the bottle kind just makes life easier. Yeah, about 1/4 cup. You can, because it's called khatta means sour in Urdu, so it's meant to be sour or tangy. Some people like to add some tamarind paste to this, but my mom just makes it with lemon juice. You can add tamarind paste, it's totally up to you. And you can also switch up the dals too, the type of lentils you use, you can switch it up. But this is just what my family prefers. So yeah, we're gonna let that come to a boil. Also add some curry leaves to this and the final spices. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the spices to the oil. This is hot, but like super hot vegetable oil. And I'm gonna add in a couple of dried red chilies as well as some whole cumin seeds. And this is very authentic to Hyderabadi cooking. It's called a bagar. And with the bagar, you want to make sure that you blacken the spices. It's sort of like burning it, I guess, but it somehow just adds like this unique flavor to the dish that sort of takes it to the next level. And this pan is specifically used just for bagars, by the way. That's why it's so it looks very not nice. This is what the bagar looks like. As you can tell, it's kind of burnt, but that's how it should be. Sometimes bagars aren't this burnt. Some people like to just leave it brown, but I guess that depends on the region of cooking and yeah, I guess just preferences. But just be careful with this. This is really hot and it will splatter. Like so. But you see that those little specks of black cumin seeds? That's exactly what you want.